The movie starts in Cape Town, South Africa, with a guy named Matt Weston. He's not just any random guy. He's a CIA safe house keeper, responsible for maintaining secret CIA location. Matt has a partner named Anna, but he's keeping his true job a secret from her, telling her he works at a clinic. After a year on the job, Matt is feeling frustrated and confined in his safe house role. He calls his boss, David, to express his frustrations and eagerness to prove himself in the field. David tells him to be patient and wait another 4 months, insisting he's not ready yet. Determined, Matt asks David to help him get a position in Paris, where Anna plans to move, so he can be with her. David agrees to put in a good word for him, but doesn't make any promises. Meanwhile, across town, Tobin Frost, a former CIA officer, now considered a traitor, is on his way to a restaurant to obtain highly sensitive information from Alec Wade, a rogue MI6 agent. Alec gives Frost a small device with top secret info on high-ranking officials, warning it could bring serious trouble. After checking the information on a microchip, Frost hides it in his body by injecting it into his thigh. Right then, a gang of mercenaries attacks, but Frost is no easy target. Frost fights them off. While making his getaway, he swaps suits with a random person. Outside, a sniper takes a shot, but ends up hitting the wrong target, the man whose suit Frost had taken. Frost and Wade flee through the restaurant's back door. Unfortunately, Alec is killed, and their car crashes into oncoming traffic. However, Frost manages to escape. He runs through a protest and then runs away. But the mercenaries find him and trap him, so he has to go into the US consulate to hide. When he gets inside, he tells everyone he is Tobin Frost. Frost's presence at the Cape Town US consulate alerts CIA headquarters personnel in Langley, Virginia. Linklater orders the Cape Town consulate to be shut down, while her boss, CIA Deputy Director Whitford, wants Frost interrogated, viewing him as a traitor. They review his file and note that Frost scored exceptionally high when he was hired, being an expert manipulator of assets and the author of the current interrogation procedures. Frost has been cut off by the CIA for 10 years and has been selling secrets to the enemy. He is wanted for espionage on 4 continents. Barlow wants to question Frost aggressively in South Africa before he goes back to the US and gets more legal protection. Back in Cape Town, Matt finally gets some action after a year. His phone rings. It's the agency, calling with a new assignment. A high-priority target is incoming, and they're planning an interrogation that night. The CIA extraction team has arrived from Johannesburg and is on its way to the consulate to pick up Frost and bring him to the safe house for questioning. Weston has to prepare everything quickly. He calls his partner and cancels their plans, making up an excuse about his job at the clinic. Later, Matt escorts the team and Frost into the safe house. As soon as Frost's hood is removed, Matt recognizes him. He's instructed to disable all cameras in the interrogation room. Kiefer, the team leader, informs Frost that he has no rights and will be tortured until he provides information about his contacts and the secrets he sold as a traitor. Despite intense questioning, Frost stays quiet. Lights in the facility flicker. Kiefer's team notices the security cameras are down. Kiefer orders them to restart, and his crew grabs their weapons. The cameras come back online, showing 12 heavily armed people outside. The attackers breach the main door and throw grenades. Bullets start flying as Daniel's crew and the mercenaries face off. Men from both sides fall. The mercenaries gain the advantage and wipe out Daniel's team, including their leader. Weston is left as the last man standing. With his back against the wall, he decides he must protect the guest, even if that guest is Tobin Frost. After taking a car, Matt tells Frost to hide in the trunk as they flee. The attackers see them and start chasing. Matt calls Linklater and Langley, telling him about the attack, Kafer and his team's deaths, and that he has Frost. Linklater tells Matt to stay away from the consulate and stay hidden. The attackers catch up and keep shooting and ramming Matt's car as they drive through streets and highways. Despite the attack, Matt disables their cars and gets away. Frost escapes from the trunk, leading to a fight between him and Weston that causes a crash. Despite the wreck, Weston gets out and points a gun at Frost. Meanwhile, CIA staff at Langley discuss removing the 9 dead from the safe house and speculate on who the attackers might have been working for. They realize there are no other agents nearby, so they have to depend on Matt. They talk about his record and achievements in college and CIA training. They mention his girlfriend, Anna, a French national who will start working at a hospital in Paris in 2 weeks. Meanwhile, as Weston directs Frost to a new hideout, Frost starts talking. He reveals his former CIA status and begins playing mind games with Weston, making him doubt his loyalty and his bosses. Frost shocks Weston by suggesting that the safe house breach could have been an inside job, given that it was supposed to be secure. Frost warns Weston that the agency isn't trustworthy and will abandon him when things get tough. Back at the CIA, things get more intense. Whitford suspects a mole in their ranks. He orders all the background info, affiliations, and everything on any agent connected to Frost's case. Later, Vargas, the head of the crew that raided the safe house, is shown using a laptop to talk to someone named Avner. Avner warns Vargas that if he doesn't deliver the file, he won't get paid. Meanwhile, Matt and Frost check into a hotel room in a different town. Frost is handcuffed to a pipe for security. Matt uses a payphone in the hallway to call Anna. He assures her he's safe and apologizes for missing her calls. Matt explains they had to leave work suddenly due to safety concerns. He urges Anna to leave her apartment for her own safety and promises to call her later. Anna quickly departs her apartment. Matt calls Barlow, who informs him that a team will arrive in 12 hours to assist. Barlow instructs Matt to retrieve a go bag and head to the next safe house. He directs Matt to where the bag is located and explains that activating the GPS inside will reveal the safe house address. Matt and Frost drive to a stadium to retrieve the bag from a locker. Matt activates the GPS and they head back to their vehicle. Suddenly, Frost raises his handcuffed hands and shouts for help, claiming he's being kidnapped and that Matt has a gun. Police officers surround them and order Matt to drop the gun. Matt is knocked down and handcuffed, and both are taken away for questioning. As they are separated, Matt and the police notice the infirmary where Frost was taken is a mess. They hurry there to find Frost. Matt manages to overpower his guard and searches for Frost. Spotting Frost in a policeman's uniform, Matt uses a police radio to mislead the officers away from Frost. As Matt tries to catch Frost, a policeman shoots at him. Matt shoots back and injures the officer. Frost disarms Matt, saying he only kills professionals, and leaves Matt with ringing ears. Matt leaves the area on a train. Meanwhile, at Langley, they're discussing Alec Wade, a former British MI6 agent found killed near the consulate Frost visited. Frost worked with Wade in the past, and Wade was recently suspected of trading secrets. After getting off the train, Matt calls Barlow and tells him he lost Frost. Linklater tells Matt to go to the consulate for debriefing and not to chase Frost. Matt wants to pursue Frost, but Whitford tells him, "We'll take it from here." Matt recognizes this as the same phrase Frost warned him about, meaning they'll blame him if things go wrong. Matt hangs up. Meanwhile, in a Cape Town hotel room, Frost removes the microchip from his thigh. He changes his appearance and takes a photo to use for new IDs. days, Matt goes to a train station to meet Anna, who is on her way to Paris. He admits that he's a CIA agent, not a clinic worker, which makes Anna furious and feels betrayed. Weston begs her to leave the country, fearing for her safety. Once she is safely on her way, Matt goes to an internet cafe to track down Frost using the CIA database. The CIA notices his activity. Whitford orders David and Linklater go to South Africa and capture Frost. Later, Frost visits his old friend, Carlos, who introduces him to his family before they go upstairs to talk. Frost tells Carlos he needs new ID documents and shares the microchip, asking Carlos to check its contents. Carlos opens the files and discovers records of wire transfers of millions of dollars to the CIA, MI6, and German intelligence. He begins making the forged documents. As the new passport is being completed, Vargas and his crew attack the house, killing Carlos and his family. Frost escapes onto the roof, pursued and shot at by Vargas's men. Nearby, Weston arrives just as chaos erupts. He stops some of Vargas's men and follows Frost through the neighborhood in a truck until they meet up. As they leave the area, Vargas's men catch up and corner them in a building. Inside, they fight two men. Frost shoots and kills one, while Matt subdues the other and gets him to admit they work for Vargas, who is with the CIA. Meanwhile, Weston takes Frost to a local drugstore to patch him up. While dressing the wound, Frost gives some seasoned advice: never kill the innocent. They then drive to the next safe house, which is in a remote area. Linklater and Barlow talk on their phones. They've checked Carlos's house and the next location where two of Vargas's men were killed. They agree to meet at a crossroad near the safe house where they believe Matt is taking Frost. Meanwhile, Matt and Frost stop near the safe house and walk up the driveway. They encounter Keller, another CIA agent who is in charge of the safe house. Matt doesn't trust Keller, so he points his gun at him, while Keller handcuffs Frost to a pipe. Keller then calls the command center to let them know that Frost is ready to be picked up. Later, Linklater stops on a rural road to meet Barlow. Linklater informs Barlow that her MI6 contact revealed that Wade acquired a microchip and might have intended to sell it to Frost. Suddenly, Barlow shoots Linklater. Back at the safe house, Keller and Matt are having a casual conversation when Keller unexpectedly attacks Matt. Their fight starts in the kitchen and moves to the glass-covered porch, leaving them both severely injured. The struggle continues inside, and eventually, Matt chokes Keller to death. While Weston crawls over to Frost, he asks him about what's in the file. Frost tells Matt he was in Cape Town to retrieve a blackmail list created by Israeli intelligence 5 years ago. The list names corrupt agents in the CIA, MI6, and German intelligence. Matt gives Frost the key to unlock his handcuffs and then collapses from his blood loss. Frost leaves the safe house. Later, Barlow talks with Matt, who has recovered. Matt tells Barlow that Frost has a file, and Barlow is mentioned in it. Suddenly, Vargas arrives and moves stealthily around the room while Barlow and Matt talk. They hear an explosion outside, and Vargas leaves the room. Barlow goes outside to investigate and is knocked down by the blast of an explosion. Frost kills one of Vargas's men and wounds Vargas himself. However, he gets shot by Barlow before he can escape. Weston, still hanging on, grabs his gun and shoots Barlow with his last strength. He crawls to the injured Frost, who, with his dying breath, hands over the drive to Weston. He urges Weston to be a better man, do the right thing. With those final words, Frost passes away. Days later, Matt meets with Whitford in his office at Langley. Whitford wants Matt to change his report to avoid embarrassment for Barlow and the government. He offers Matt a senior case officer position if he denies knowing about a file Frost had. Matt tells Whitford that Frost didn't mention a file to him. As Matt leaves Whitford's office, he says, "I'll take it from here." And he does. He anonymously releases Frost's files to the media. In the following days, high-ranking members of the MI6, German intelligence, and the CIA are arrested for corruption. Whitford, the CIA's deputy director, is among those identified. Back in Paris, Matt sends Anna a note. While she sits outside a restaurant, she looks around and they make eye contact. They are both happy knowing the other is safe. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.